Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Tuesday, June 2nd. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are lower. We're about 0.2% lower, 0.19%. A lot of geopolitical uncertainty is still in the air. That's kind of a negative factor for the markets. You have to look at the fact that President Trump is out there saying one thing, Iran is saying another. Trump came out and said, there should be a deal done next week. Iran said yesterday that any deals are off because of Israel's continued offensive in Lebanon. President Trump has asked them to stop. They've agreed. So maybe it's back on the table. Maybe it's not. But that uncertainty causes, concern for the markets. But, time will tell. In the market this morning, hey, we're still seeing some, relative strength in the chip stocks. That's nice to see. Financials are flat to lower, but that's okay. On the economic front, hey, the key report today is going to be the JOLTS report. Now, this is a lagging indicator, but it's the first of four employment reports that are coming out this week. So this is the first one. We'll keep an eye on it. In corporate news, Microsoft, they got their Build conference starting today. Now, the CEO is going to be speaking at 12:30. That's, the time you really want to be long it going into it. Afterwards, we'll see if they come out with anything special. I don't think they will, because I think the air has already been released from that balloon with respect to what's going on with them and NVIDIA. So, but we'll pay close attention to it. Anthropic, yesterday they filed for the highly anticipated IPO. Now, this is kind of creating an issue because a lot of these these AI companies are starting to file. So equity allocations will go to that. So that's kind of an issue. And you notice that Google last night came out and they announced an $80 billion capital raise. And Berkshire Hathaway's taken $10 billion of it. The other like 40 will be done in the public markets and the remaining 30 billion later this year. But this is a huge capital raise. And it's being done at a time prior to a bunch of the IPOs coming out. So they want to get some of that allocation of that money prior to those IPOs and having that money tied up. So, but it's still a huge capital raise. And Amazon. Amazon came out and they said that their Prime Day sales event is going to happen in June 23rd. Interesting. What else we got? We got some shareholders meetings, General Motors, Figma, BioMarin. They're all having shareholders meetings today. On the earnings front, we're seeing gains in Hewlett-Packard, Dollar General, and DCI are all trading higher, whereas in Credo and Hive are lower. After the bell today, we got GitLab, we got Ulta Beauty, we got Palo Alto Networks, all scheduled to report. Okay, let's take a look overseas and what we see in Germany. Hey, the DAX is rallying. The DAX is up 203 points, or 0.81%. That's positive. We are seeing some strength in industrials and tech names. The FTSE's higher by 25 points, or 0.25, with strength in mining stocks. The CAC in Paris is up 0.7%, with tech and luxury stocks helping to drive that index higher. Then we're looking last night, and we're looking at Asia. Now the Nikkei fell, but it was only down 0.3%. It's had an incredible rally last few sessions, but there is some weakness in export-orientated stocks, which weighed on sentiment. Not surprising. Remember, they're in a cloud right now of a pending rate hike. So a rate hike would make those exports more expensive. Then we look at Hong Kong. Hong Kong had a nice day, up 2.52%. I mean, strong gains in tech stocks and continued support in financial and consumer-related stocks. Shanghai in China was up 0.43% with gains in tech, energy, and the financial stocks. So, it was all positive. Now we're looking at oil this morning, and oil is trading lower, which is positive, and that's really off of Trump's comments. You got WTI at $90.90 a barrel, down 1.37%. You got Brent at $93.67, down 1.38%. After the bell today, you got the inventory reports coming out from the API. That's not going to be that'll be minor. That'll weigh on markets, but we'll have to wait and see what those figures come out with. Okay, let's take a look at earnings, and we got to start off with Dollar General, ticker DG, David Grace. They beat by 11 cents. It was done on slightly lower revenue, but the stock's up 4.47% this morning. Nice. And then we have HPE, Henry Paul Edward, Hewlett-Packard Enterprises. That stock's rallying this morning. We're seeing gains of, you're not going to believe this, 28%. They beat by 26 cents. They did it on higher revenue. It was a good report. Upcoming, we got Palo Alto Networks, PANW. Their EPS is 81 cents. Their expected move, 11.69%. Get Ultra Beauty, ticker ULTA, EPS, $6.87. Expected move, 10.07%. Wow, that's like $50. Okay, in terms of the economic reports today, we get the JOLTS report coming out at 10 a.m. Cleveland Fed Bank President Beth Hammack, she's going to be speaking at 8:30 a.m. This morning as well. Let's talk about some, FANG stock news. Like, I mentioned the Amazon Prime Day, and the reason why this is important is because it's happening in June. So the profits from this sales event are going to be in July quarter, in the July earnings release. So when they do it in July, they go into the third quarter release. But by doing it in June, it'll be in this quarter's release. So that's a positive. So I like to see that. That could help the earnings, be a little stronger this quarter. Google selling $10 billion to Berkshire Hathaway, another $30 billion underwritten by public offering deals, the other $40 billion sold into the market likely later this year. And this comes into the headwinds of a bunch of AI IPOs that are about to hit the market. I mean, you got SpaceX, which is going to be huge. You got Anthropic. You got OpenAI and others, all coming out with their IPOs this year. So Google needs to get in front of that. And it's kind of concerning because they've always been raising money, saying, "Hey, we'll be able to pay for it themselves with profits down the line." Now they're saying we're going to do a capital raise in addition. A little concerning, but they need to do it for the AI spend. It's not cheap to build out those data centers. What else do we have? Tesla Chinese electric vehicle sales climbed 39.4% in May. NVIDIA Chinese labs with military ties are said to be seeking NVIDIA chips. You got to keep an eye on that. Coca-Cola, ticker KO, they're looking for a public listing in India for Hindustan Coca-Cola. Microsoft Build Conference starts today. CEO Satya Nadella is going to be speaking at 12:30 p.m. In terms of merger news, DSX, they rejected, Genco board unanimously rejected Diana Shipping's latest buyout offer. In terms of guidance news, Signet Jewelers, SIG, Sam India Grace. You look at that stock this morning. And it is trading higher. I mean, it's up. Wait, no, that's Hewlett Packard. Yeah, it is trading higher. It's up 6.9%. Earnings weren't great, but their guidance. I mean, the street estimates 1.54 for Q2, and they came in. They said that they feel that their revenue is going to be 150 to 153 billion. So it's a little light there. Dollar General, on the other hand, I mean, they raised their full year 2026 EPS viewed by 10 cents. I mean, it's now at 720 to 745. Street estimate 725. 720 to 745. Street estimate 725. And HPE, they raised their full year 2026 EPS view to $3.35 to $3.45. Street estimates is $2.42. That's a huge uptick. Shareholders meetings at General Motors, Figma, BioMarin. Buyback news, SIG, Signet Jewelers intends to initiate a $50 million accelerated share repurchasing plan later this month. In terms of catalyst calls, AppLovin, ticker APP, Apple Paul. Citibank put an upside catalyst watch list on the stock, 90-day upside catalyst watch on AppLovin, APP. Okay, now we're talking about today's pick of the day. I don't like any of the stocks that are coming out with earnings after the bell today, but I do like Viva Systems. And they're not coming out till tomorrow afternoon. But it looks positive. I mean, the weakness this morning is kind of an opportunity. It's down 2.24%, and I think it could show a little more weakness this morning. But you look at yesterday's call volume, 7,328 calls versus 2,573 puts. That's positive. That's a put-call ratio of 0.35. Sweet spot. Open interest, 21,000 versus 13,000. I mean, like that. Major brokers are raising price targets. They're positive on the stock. Listen, the stock's trading 184.44. I'm hoping to get in at the 182.50 level. I got to tell you, I want to get in under 183. I think that's possible. So I'm going to kind of hold my powder a little bit there, wait for it to kind of fall a little bit more. But I think if I can get in there, Viva Systems should rally in the afternoon or definitely tomorrow morning because the earnings are tomorrow afternoon. So the downside's limited. And it's already down, 2.2%. And the downside's limited because the expectations are strong for an earnings beat. So, yeah, I like Viva Systems today. VEEV, Victor, Edward, Victor. And I'm going to shoot for a price of 182.50. Depends how it opens, but that's what I'm looking at this point in time. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the news that's hitting the tape in the last 15 minutes or so. See what we see. WTER Alkaline Water signs letter of intent to acquire Eureka Beverages for $1 million in cash and stock deal. AZN reports further positive results from Phase 3 Serena-6 trial. Chances of an U.S.-Iran peace deal plummet on poly market. Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I think they just continue on as is without signing any agreement as both sides continue to be negative towards one another. I mean, they don't trust one another, so I don't see any real deal happening, but maybe. JFrog announced inclusion in the Russell 3000 index. That's going to happen on June 26th. Shake Shack, SHAK, they cut their 2026 adjusted EBITDA. IBM plans to invest over $10 billion in quantum computing over the next 5 years. All right, let's see anything over here. ST Microelectronics raised their full year 2026 data center revenue to $1 billion from above 500. That's huge. Redwire, RDW, 30-day option applied volatility is at 154. 52-week range is 68 to 160. RDW, something's going on there. Planet Labs, PL, option applied vol is at 135. 52-week range, 68 to 142. Interesting. That Microsoft is expected to showcase new PC and cloud AI tools at the developers conference today. That's all I'm seeing. Okay, now we're going to move on. We're going to talk about our pick of the day from yesterday, which was Dollar General, ticker DG, David Grace. I mean, you look at the stock and it's trading 115.50. I mean, the stock opened up yesterday at 111.82, and I thought that was high. I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait. I want to get in 109, under 110, 109.75, I think I said. Well, the stock did fall down to 108.17. Then it rallied to the close and closed out at 109.93. This morning, you're seeing the stock right now trading 115.52. That's up 5% from the close. So yeah, that's a nice gain. Dollar General was a winner yesterday. That was a winner. All right, traders, you guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green today.